Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Off the Road with John and John. I'm John. Over here, this guy, whichever way I got to point this way this time. This is my hetero life mate, my tag team partner, the man in charge. That guy, his name's Josh.
What up?
Josh, welcome back to Off the Roast, man. It's been a little bit. How you doing?
It has been definitely a little bit more than a little bit. I'm doing pretty good. You know, it is the new year. It's officially
New year
2022. That's right.
2021 was a really shitty year. 2020 was a shitty year.
It's true.
So let's just hope that 2022 is not going to be horrible.
You know what? All I can say is, how about it just be a little less shitty?
I mean,
that's all.
That
just
sounds
a little
fair.
I
mean,
that would be nice. And I mean, we're starting off the year with a pay-per-view. We're recording this as WWE Day 1 is happening.
True statement.
And, we had some breaking news just a few hours ago before we started recording this. Apparently, the one, the only, you know him. Some of you might love him. The Roman Reigns himself has confirmed that he has COVID-19. Yeah, that's not good. You know, this is a guy who I was always kind of scared about him getting it. Because
I'm 100% with you on that one.
He's been through cancer a couple times, you know, like that does a toll on your system in the first place. So hopefully he'll be, okay throughout this. But he was supposed to have a match against Brock Lesnar for the title tonight. And that's not happening, obviously. So when I first heard that, I just assumed, they were just going to cancel that match. Okay, no big deal. But apparently Brock Lesnar has found his way into the title picture yet again. This time for the WWE Championship. They have now made it a fatal 5-way. John, what are your thoughts on Roman Reigns and everything that's happening there, and this change to the Day 1 card?
I mean, the change to the Day 1 card, it's an interesting way to book Roman Reigns not being there. I feel really bad for the fatal 4-way having changed to a 5-way because, I mean, they're prepared pre-show to go out there and do something. Now they got to change it up and hope it works on the fly. There would have been a really interesting way to have worked this, though. I know the Usos already have a match tonight, but it would have been really cool to have seen like Brock Lesnar come out and do something where he's like, I know Roman's homesick. Send me anybody. They send out some jobber, and he's like, here. Put on this Roman Reigns t-shirt while I beat you up. And then,
dude, I would have liked almost like a mini gauntlet.
That would have been
does
cool.
it. He's like, I'll take on anybody. Some like jobber, even like it could be like you have all those people who fight for the 24/7 title.
Yes.
Send like one of them out, right? He just demolishes them in under a minute. He's like, is that all you got? Send me another one. And then he does it like 3-4 times. It just takes them all out.
But every time, though, he makes him put on a Roman shirt.
I mean, that would be pretty hilarious.
Just because I want the whole... He's doing this whole thing to get to Roman Reigns right now. He's got to keep sending the message. Yeah. I will beat anybody to get to you because all I see is you when I beat someone up. Here, put on this Roman shirt. He takes it off the person. Here, put on this Roman shirt.
I mean that would be funny. That would be funny. I do think it would kind of almost... It would kill the momentum, but it still would be hilarious nonetheless.
Yeah, because him dominating half of a Royal Rumble didn't kill a...
Yeah, but he wasn't making them all put shirts on. No, that might have made it better. But yeah, I just... When you have somebody... Okay, so Roman and Brock Lesnar, it was a singles match. It was just two of them. They can do a lot more, Even if, because I don't think Roman was going to be booked to lose. I just don't. So even if, Brock is going to lose, he's going to look strong. They're going to make him look good. They always do.
Always.
But now he's in this fatal 5-way. There's no way they're going to make him look weak in any way. So I feel like what it's going to do is it's going to make the rest of the guys look kind of weak. Unless
they all beat him up. Team up, beat him up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's then going to get his up, you know what I mean?
True.
And take, because they're not going to want him to look weak. Because I guarantee they're still going to book this match, most likely at Royal Rumble.
I'm not going to lie. this actually makes me want to go and watch that match now just to see what happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because now I'm like, well, how the hell did they book that match without,
Yeah. It actually has me more interested in the pay-per-view than I was before.
Right.
And that's really sad. It shouldn't be that way.
I mean, it shouldn't be, but sadly, that's just, we'll get towards that in a little bit because that's part of what I want to talk about with today's topic.
That's true. So now that I guess we should have technically put that in this segment, but we are now going to jump into Breaking Kayfabe, baby. Where'd it go? There it is.
Babe.
Yes. Breaking Kayfabe. Look at all that shit. You hear it. You can hear the glass. You can just hear it.
No, because if you hear the glass, that means Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that means somebody going to get stunned.
That's true. I mean, I'd be okay with that. Send him out to face Lesnar. I think I'd be down, man. I'd be down. So our first official on the docket story that wasn't
on the docket
wasn't a breaking news story. Johnny Knoxville. You know Johnny Knoxville. Jackass. He's got a new Jackass movie coming out next month, actually. That's right. Johnny Knoxville in the Royal Rumble? What?
I wouldn't hate to see that. I mean, Steve-O and Bam one time, or was it Steve-O and was it Ryan Dunn? They hosted WWE during that whole time.
Yeah,
they've done
a few times. So Knoxville put out a video on his Instagram, which I'm going to play for us. Let me get it up here. Look at that face.
His age is really shown.
It's true. So here's this video, less than a minute long.
In the current list of WWE wrestlers, and frankly, I'm not impressed. They don't have anyone big enough to throw me over the top. What is Little E or Roman Reigns going to do it? And Vince McMahon, you have always been really kind.
All right, John. Thoughts?
I mean, I don't hate it. Not even a bit. That was a better promo than half the fucking roster can cut.
Right?
Like, first off, Johnny Knoxville has always been one of my favorite people from Jackass. And the fact that it's not hard to get eliminated from a ring, he's taking harder shots from being gored by a bull. So, I mean,
yeah.
I don't see why it would hurt. Drew Carey's been in the Royal Rumble.
I think it's interesting. He's claiming he's going to be the last man. He's calling out Big E, called him Little E. Called Roman Reigns Roman Ruins. I mean, that's some big talk for some. I mean, he's calling out the champs.
I'm okay with that.
I thought that was awesome.
Listen, if David Arquette has shown us anything in the world, it's that anybody can carry a championship. I almost said WWE belt, but it wasn't. It was WCW. But anybody can carry a championship belt. Now, I don't hate that David Arquette had a title. Don't be one of those people. Don't be like, oh, David Arquette. He has redeemed himself 100 times over to show you people he can actually carry this business and work with this business and do what he does. He loves this business.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville has always loved this business. So let's see what he can do. Put him in there.
You know what? I'll be honest. I want to see him make a run in this thing.
Why not? I mean, he's clearly trying, so why not let him eliminate 4 or 5 people?
Yeah, just put him in maybe midway. He comes out and he lasts 4 or 5 guys. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of awesome. I don't know. Really see him get a run where it makes people actually think, well, shit, maybe he could do this.
Maybe he eliminates like you said, a bunch of those mid card guys, like the 24/7 guys.
Yeah,
and then maybe he eliminates one bigger superstar. Maybe it'd be a fluke.
Yeah,
or they go to eliminate him and somehow it backfires and he eliminates them, and then he does the really cocky pumps himself up and then accidentally gets eliminated.
He takes out a Cesaro or a Sheamus or something. So, people who have who aren't quite top tier anymore, but have been there.
Yeah.
And could be there again in the future. Somebody I think that'd be kind of awesome. I don't know.
I mean, I think it'd be funny. It'd be epic.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
All right. Our next story. It's about love, John.
Aww.
It's about love. And it does kind of tie into what our main topic will be today. So we'll get into that. Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti officially together. There was a lot of speculation about this after Sammy and his fiance split up. The fans really just took it to take Conti.
The fans are fucking shit right now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Sammy and Tay. I think you two are absolutely adorable together. My heart is broke because, I had just bought a ring for Tay Conti, and I was going to be the one to be like, hey, Tay, please marry me. I will lose all this weight.
I really don't think that Mickie James would be appreciative of that.
Oh, man.
You have already proposed to Mickie James. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mickie.
So I don't know. Baby, come back.
On me.
We're gonna stay a little bit in the love realm. This one I didn't realize until right before we started recording. John brought this.
You didn't realize this one?
I did not. I had.
For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, woo woo woo, you know it. Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green officially tied the knot over the weekend. Hence why we don't have a banner because
it's true.
Somebody was a little slacking on the news today.
Hey man,
but
trying to streamline this show, baby.
Congratulations to the Long Island Broski and the Hot Mess. Hopefully you guys can find much happiness and love in these confusing times. Because, that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants love. I just want someone to wrap their arms around me and tell me everything's going to be all right.
Come on,
dude, I just quoted one of your fucking favorite movies of all time.
Oh, I didn't. That didn't slide past me, but I'm just saying, man. We just came out of 2021. I don't know. I don't know if that can be guaranteed.
Listen, I know this is slightly off topic of the whole wrestling thing, but I am really pissed off right now. For weeks, I've been seeing these things that we're going to go into 2022 gently, and we're all going to approach it cautiously. Everybody protect Betty White because Betty White is so fucking precious. Who dropped the fucking ball? Who wasn't paying attention to Betty White? Because we lost her yesterday, and it fucking sucks. There is a hole in my heart, and all I want to say to Betty White is thank you for being a friend.
Absolutely.
God.
And, 2021 just decided we're going to kick everybody in the balls one last time on the way out the fucking door. And that was quite the kick to the balls.
That was fucking huge kick, man.
And the ref definitely was not looking during that one, man.
What ref?
Exactly. All right. So our last news story, this one's a bit of a bigger one. There's a bit of Big Swole Tony Khan stuff going on. So recently Big Swole was on some podcast. I don't know what the actual podcast was. And she opened up about her departure from AEW a few weeks back. Her contract had expired a few weeks ago. And she says that a lack of diversity is what led to her leaving and not re-upping her contract. There was a lot of stuff in this interview. She talked about like the structure of AEW and how it needs work. She talked a bit about how the women there aren't getting the same kind of chances as the men. But the biggest thing that she talked about was diversity. And this kind of stirred up a whole lot of stuff on the internet. We not only, because here's the thing, Big Swole, she specifically said, AEW is a great company. She had nothing bad to say about Tony Khan. Okay. However, Tony Khan heard this interview, or at least saw, I don't know if he listened to the whole thing or if he just saw snippets. I don't know actually what he saw, but he decided to hop on Twitter and respond. And a lot of people weren't happy about the way that he responded here. So what he wrote in his tweet, the top two AEW execs are brown, me and Mega. And I'm going to stop real quick right there. One, I didn't know what his ethnicity was. Okay. And anybody who doesn't know, I'll be honest, going to look at him and see a white guy. I mean, that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, he may be what people consider a brown skinned person, but I look at him, I assumed he was a white guy. Okay, I had no idea about what his ethnicity was. And I feel like a lot of other people. So like I feel like him using himself to kind of shut down Big Swole's argument, that's not the best route.
No.
In the first place. Then he went on to say Jade, Bowens, Caster, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, and Mark Queen all won on TV this month. The TBS title tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole's contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. And then he went on to promote the street fight that night. So I first want to get your thoughts on the kind of stuff that she was talking about, and then his response, and then we'll kind of dive in a little bit more.
I'm a little torn on this topic because one, not fully educated on it. Like I saw that it was happening. I didn't really do a lot of research into it. I'm not going to lie. I think that it was handled poorly on the side of Tony Khan. Mainly, like you said, you don't use yourself as a target. Even if what she's saying is right, you don't use yourself as like let me tell you something, because that's, I mean, you run the fucking company.
And another thing, it's like diversity doesn't just mean, oh, we have like some black people on our show and they won on TV. It's also about how they're consistently used. Now, I'm trying not to take any sides here because I don't watch the product enough to really say one way or another if I think this is a thing. There's a lot of independent wrestlers out there who don't work for AEW who have sided with her, who see it and are agreeing with her. There's a lot of current AEW stars who are siding with Tony, which is understandable because that's where they work.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I will say it like this: it is a set of muddy water. This isn't one of those arguments that's like white and black. It's fucking muddy water all the way across. Yeah. I understand that a lot of people are going to side with Tony Khan. He's the guy who's signing fucking paychecks.
It's true.
I understand that Big Swole's complaint is a legitimate complaint. This is one of those things where, like, it doesn't help that, like, again, fans jump in on it as well and voice their opinions, and you don't see what's going on behind the fucking scenes. You see what the product is on television. Yeah. And, excuse me, but you read what people like Dave Meltzer fucking release and other people, what's his name? Robert Sapp of Fight Commentary or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember his name. Sean Sapp?
Sean Sapp. People have scoops. Yes, I'm not taking that away. But I'm saying that you don't fucking know what's happening. You're seeing what is being released.
Yeah.
Speaking of being released, I'm sorry people like Big Swole are gone from the company. I personally didn't get behind her character, but I didn't really see it. I mean, yeah, okay, so you're a tough.
Let me ask you, you've seen her wrestle then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know a lot about her. I don't know how often I've seen her wrestle. What did you think of her wrestling? Because Tony Khan specifically says she's not very good. But he obviously signed her for some reason.
I saw maybe 2 of her matches, so I'm a little uneducated about it, but I mean,
okay.
Her match wasn't the match of the night. Like, it wasn't. If I was starting a company and I was going to look for a black woman to be on my show, she's probably not the first person I'd call.
That's fair.
I mean,
again, like I said, I don't think I've seen enough of her to really
be
able to tell.
She reminded me of a jacked up version of Bianca Belair with shorter hair.
I mean, looks are one thing, but like it's whether or not I'm just more curious. Like, is she actually good in the ring?
I mean,
because like
her work wasn't.
Tony's
horrible.
Making a big claim, saying that he released her because she's not good.
But I mean, he might be saying that, but I mean, like, I'm saying in my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, she's not the flash in the pan. And I get he's running a wrestling company right now. Maybe it could have been taken out of context the way he said it, though, too.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, he's saying that, like, oh, she's not good. But you also got to look at the amount of talent that they do have in the roster right now.
And that's a thing that she had also brought up in this podcast interview, is that you have all these loyal wrestlers who've been there, and then they're getting all shoved aside for all these new people coming in, all these WWE people that are getting picked up, this, that, the other, and all these people who've been loyal to the company are getting shoved to the side, getting like 2-minute matches on Dark if they're lucky.
That is true, though.
You know,
but we had
so like
talked
that was part of the stuff that she was talking about. Also,
well, me and you'd been talking about stuff like that with how AEW is picking up all these people and they're getting roster heavy now without having really shit to do.
yeah.
So I mean, she does have a point there, and I you can't take that one away. A fact is a fact. I mean, we've talked about that a couple times.
Yeah.
And actually, we can use that to segue into today's category about, you know.
Well, hold on, because there was some other stuff that I real quick that I wanted to talk about. So I had said that, you know, obviously a lot of the indie wrestlers who don't work for AEW are siding with her, but like I said, there are a lot of people who are siding with Tony Khan. But there was one in particular that I wanted to bring up, because like there were people like, you know, like Tay Conti siding with Tony Khan because she's Latina and she's saying that, you know, she loves this company and she's always felt comfortable here.
She's
like,
always gotten a heavy push though, since she's been
yeah,
there too.
Exactly. And then and there was who was the other one? There was some people like Powerhouse Hobbs, Jade Cargill, and Hikaru Shida, who all kind of were siding with him as well. But Leo Rush came out. Okay, so this is the one that I wanted to bring up. He put out this. It was less than, I think it was like 24 hours ago. I think it was like right around this time last night. He put out this like series of tweets showing how he was not okay with it. So his first one was like, I'm not cool with any of this shit, to be honest. If nobody says something, I will, because this is fucked up. And then he demanded that Tony Khan apologize. Okay. Then earlier today, he tweets out this long like message that he had screenshotted from, I'm assuming like a notes thing, because it wouldn't have fit on Twitter. But it says, I want this to be clear. I do not consider this to be a diversity issue. And I at no point have thought or said that AEW or Tony is racist. First off, Big Swole never said that. Not even once.
That is true.
Talking about lack of diversity does not intrinsically equal racism. It just doesn't.
That is true.
But a lot of fans out there have been taking it that way.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to stuff like that. And he kind of just goes on. He says that he spoke with Tony and Mega, and he essentially changes his mind, which, I mean, you're free to do. But he went hard at first, you know, and then he completely flip-flopped. And I don't know how I feel about that, man.
If you want my honest opinion, and I'm going to probably get a lot of heat from this from the few fans that we do have, I do not like Leo Rush. Okay. Have not liked him. I do not like him. He just seems like one of those guys that, like, he's always chasing the buck. Whoever has the biggest buck is going to be the guy he's going to be like, oh, hey, you're my friend. And when he was in the WWE, he was like, oh, I'm Leo Rush. I'm the greatest thing ever. Blah, 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 blah. And then when he got released, he was like, yo, fuck you, WWE. Yeah. And then he gets picked up by AEW, and he's like, oh, AEW, #1. Woo, look at me. I'm over here now. Hey, flash in the pan. I'm the greatest thing ever. Yeah. And then the moment something happens, he's like, oh, Tony Khan, you better apologize. You're a dick. You're saying some shit you shouldn't be saying. And then, you know, he actually talks to Tony Khan. He's like, oh, me and Tony, we're like this. Day ones.
Yeah. So
it's like, fuck you, Leo Rush.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know. I didn't feel good about that kind of flip that he did there.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he dating somebody on the roster?
I honestly don't know.
I'm gonna Google this really quick while we're talking.
I did, however, learn that, I don't know if they're like together, but they at least were, and they have a kid together. Big Swole and Cedric Alexander.
Yes,
have a kid
that
together.
One I knew.
Did not know that until I was like looking through all this stuff.
Yeah, because there was a thing back when he first started doing the Hurt Business. She was congratulating him on Facebook and shit, and he appeared in a backstage thing with her on AEW.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, this whole Big Swole Tony Khan thing, I was like, I understand, she got, her contract expired and she, it didn't, no matter whether she chose to not re-up or he chose to not re-up, doesn't matter at this point. She decided to go on a podcast, and she has that right. She talked about her experiences, her feelings. She never once bashed AEW or Tony Khan during this interview, at least from what I read, because I read a lot of the transcript of this interview. But then for Tony Khan to come out with that one tweet, the way he said it, I just think it was ill-advised on his part.
Like I said, I 100% agree that it was a unprofessional tweet.
Yeah.
Especially throwing like dirt at her, being like, well, you're not a good wrestler.
Yeah.
First off,
it's so unprofessional. It's ridiculous. He should have reached out to her. She was angry and went on this pod, and that's fine. Again, she never once disparaged AEW or him. If he had a problem with it, he should have reached out to her.
Absolutely. And that's one of those things too. It's like he could have reached out to her. He could have been the bigger man and posted a tweet in response and saying something like, sorry you feel about that. Your feelings like that are in said ways. It's not that way. I mean, there's 100 other ways that tweet could have went.
Yeah.
But to throw dirt on somebody's like professional career and be like, well, you're not that good.
Yeah.
Maybe
you're not that good. Come watch our street fight. Like, it was like, so just like, what the fuck are you doing, Tony Khan?
Right.
It was such a bad look, I feel, for AEW as a whole. It's like, come on, man.
I mean, there's a lot of she's not wrong. Like, I'm not going to say the diversity subject is 100% on point because I don't watch the shows enough.
Dude, people say, like, I've heard like WWE people talk about this, about the WWE. You don't see Vince coming out being like, this person's a shitty wrestler. No, he doesn't do that, man.
It's really sad, too, because with WWE, most of the people you see in power and shit on WWE, always white.
Yeah.
The only black person I can really remember ever in charge in WWE was fucking Teddy Long.
Yeah. And I mean, there's probably some backstage people, but like...
Oh, of course there's backstage.
You look at the top, there's just not.
I mean... It's crazy.
Yeah, so, but, yeah, and it created a lot of stir in the internet community, of course. People siding with Swole, people siding with Tony Khan, people being complete and utter douchebags, as they always do. And that brings us into our main topic of the night, toxic fandom. So, John, let's see what you got.
So I reached out to Josh, and I said, there's something we really need to talk about on this show. I said, we need to talk about toxic fandom. And Josh was like, oh, fuck, man. Yeah, no, that's a great topic. Now, if any of you have watched, like, Marvel's Loki, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. There's, like, a timeline of wrestling. And toxic fandom makes those little offshoot Nexus events, other timelines. And, I mean, in a way, kind of. It's not that there's another timeline of professional wrestling that streams from it, but I mean, toxic fandom does so much shit to professional wrestling, and it's this subject that just needs to get discussed. So we're gonna try not to stretch it out too much, but let's start with how fans can't separate that the business is a business and it's a job for people. Okay,
yeah.
Understandably, this is what they do for like 350 days a year. I mean, it's less than that, but these people live this life. Like, Roman Reigns doesn't just walk around Superman punching people in a supermarket. He doesn't walk around just being like,
I would love to see that, like, that random cell phone video of Roman Reigns just like Superman punching out an old lady, like in the grocery store because she cut in line.
No. He's got like a cantaloupe, and he's like, this cantaloupe is not ripe. Boom!
And he just punches the cantaloupe. Fair.
Dude, could you imagine like New Day finding like a prize in their cereal box? New Day rocks. New Day rocks. The fucking trombone getting played. Like,
New Day just goes to Denny's, gets the all-you-can-eat pancakes, starts chucking them around.
I'm not saying that these guys don't have the personalities, but I'm saying like Stone Cold doesn't just walk around and he doesn't like, okay, hold on, because I can actually flip this coin. There is one wrestler in the business that I know lives his character, and that's motherfucking MJF. Now, I will give this man the credit that he deserves.
MJF is like the new Ric Flair.
Yes.
That was what Flair did.
And that's it. MJF is keeping kayfabe alive. And I absolutely, when you can put a middle finger in a 7-year-old's face and not smile about it, you're doing something right. Yeah. I don't approve of those actions, but I sure as fuck will laugh about it. Call me a hypochondriac. At least I'm not on Twitter telling him he's a piece of shit who needs to die.
You mean hypocrite? Yeah.
Oh yeah, hypocrite. And that's what we're here to talk about today with Toxic Fandom. Now, Josh, jump in here anytime.
I will.
But there are plenty of instances where it comes to people like Tay Conti, Sammy Guevara, Jordynne Grace.
Yeah. The whole thing with like Sammy and Tay, like, just because people break up, it doesn't mean that it gives you the right to get online and just harass people.
Right? Like where the fuck is that your right?
Like, fuck out of here.
Like,
half of married couples get divorced.
Yeah.
Okay? Are you going to go around to every fucking divorced couple and, like, just fucking harangue one of them? Like,
well, here's a really funny thing too. So Tay Conti reactivated her Twitter, and there's pictures of her.
It's funny. All three of the ones that we were going to talk about have all gone back to Twitter,
which is cool. I'm still going to talk about how they all deactivated their Twitter because of twat bag little fuckholes who live in their mama's basement downloading fucking illegal porn so they can masturbate because women don't want to fucking touch them.
Boom.
Fucking unfriend me on Twitter. I don't fucking care. I'm not on Twitter for friends. I'm on Twitter to make a fucking statement.
That statement is 2-for-1 ladies' night. I don't know.
But let me tell you. So Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti posted pictures from Bringing in the New Year. And people are fucking shitting on Sammy like, 5 months ago you proposed to your girlfriend in the ring. How dare you fucking leave her and start dating Tay Conti? First off, let's flip this coin to the WWE side of the coin for a minute. Did any of you fucking little shitbags fucking tweet John Cena and Nikki Bella when this exact same thing happened?
I mean, probably, but like you don't hear about it as much, or it wasn't nearly as much.
Exactly, because nobody fucking cared. Yeah. We all knew it wasn't going to end well. You don't fucking go to the business to fucking find love. And if you've been in the business long enough, there's a fucking rule. I'm not going to talk about it on the camera because it's a fucking rule. But you don't fucking do it. You don't fucking shit where you eat, people. That is rule number 1 of the business. Any business. I don't go to Walmart to find love and then fuck someone in a bathroom. Have I done it? Yes. Did it end horribly? Yes.
But you didn't go there with that intention.
I feel like I'm getting off point here, though. The point of the matter is just because these people's lives are on camera and out there to be seen does not give you the right to fucking shit on them and treat them like fucking dirt.
Yeah. This happens not just in wrestling, too. And that's the thing. It's like it's been creeping up a lot in with movies and things like that. Like Star Wars is a huge one.
Yeah.
Where it happens a lot in it. What's her Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose in the sequels, Daisy Ridley, they deactivated their Twitters for the same type of shit. It's like it gets ridiculous because people don't see these people as human beings anymore.
No.
You watch them all the time on your TV week after week. You see them. They no longer are people to these scumbags.
No.
And so they feel like, I got a computer. I can hide behind my keyboard. I can say whatever the fuck I want. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's just me talking away into the void. No one's going to care. But people care.
People do care.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's Naomi. I think she wound up taking her Twitter off too a while back for the same shit. There was that. I don't remember what her name is, but there was that girl who killed herself. That I think she was a Japanese wrestler.
Yep.
Like it was like I think it might have been earlier this year or might have been last year. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was earlier this year.
But that was exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
and I mean, that's the thing. Like, you people don't realize, like, yes, you're allowed to have your opinions about wrestling. And we're going to get into that in a couple of minutes. But we're talking about, like, how you people are fucking treating these people to start. Like, it's shitty.
Yeah.
You can have your opinions about wrestling. Oh, AEW's better. Oh, WWE's better. But, and you know what? I'll bleed into that right now. It doesn't have to be that AEW or WWE is better than the other. They're both putting out content. They're both putting out shows. They're both putting out merchandise for you to buy.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s when it was WCW and the WWF, before the WWE took over, you could have two companies and you flipped the channels back and forth. You didn't have to fucking care that the WWE or WCW was putting out better product.
Yeah, you didn't have to pick one. Like it's like this whole mentality of, oh, I have to pick one and then I have to hate the other one.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so fucking stupid.
I mean, when I first met Josh knew nothing about WCW at all.
Yeah.
He was a WWF boy and he didn't even really watch wrestling. I brought him back to the world of excitement.
It's true.
But let me tell you, I had no problems being like, oh, so you like The Undertaker? Why?
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, oh, you're an Undertaker fan. Dude, I remember The Undertaker. What's he doing these days? Let me tell you about this great thing going on in WCW called the NWO.
It's true.
There is so much shit that, yes, AEW currently has a better product, but AEW is also new and exciting. And like
AEW isn't without its faults and flaws.
No, and that's
there
true
is
as well.
Plenty of stuff that I've seen on AEW. I'm like, what the fuck were they thinking? There's been plenty. And so all these people who are like, who seem to just bend over backwards to try to make people believe that AEW is perfect.
Right?
You're living in a fantasy world, man.
And it's the same for the other people who fucking breathe and die for WWE.
Absolutely.
Oh, WWE can't do no wrong. Let me tell you, their product right now is atrocious.
Yeah.
I would rather go take a shit in my toilet and watch it go down the drain than turn on WWE's product.
I mean, I don't know if I would rather do that.
I mean, okay. I will go find a donkey and get kicked in the nuts.
No, I think I'd still rather watch I'd rather watch pretty much. I'll go watch Impact.
God.
But see, and here's the thing, right? Everybody talks about WWE versus AEW, but then nobody gives a flying fuck about companies like Impact.
No, the companies that are struggling to make people even remember they're still there.
Yeah, and yet all three of these companies, plus all of these other like smaller, our ROH when it was actively doing things, New Japan, NW, all these companies, they do good stuff and they do bad stuff. Like, none of them are perfect.
I mean, shit. Me and
you can enjoy pieces from everything.
Me and you used to travel on the independents, and I mean, we've seen some really great independent shows where we were super excited to have been part of that show.
Yep.
And there have been moments.
Oh my goodness.
There have been moments on shows where we have laughed so hard that even thinking about them popping into my head and I can't keep a straight face.
Yep.
There have been plenty of times where I've been like, please don't do this because this is going to go bad.
Yep.
Don't listen to me. Fuck up the top of your car.
I was thinking of the exact same thing. Oh, man.
It's one of two things always come to mind when I think about that specific federation.
That and the Shockmaster
yes
redo.
He's Shockmaster.
Oh man.
I mean,
damn.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this question. Feel free to respond. Go over to anchor.fm/off the ropes JJ. Go to Twitter. go wherever you can, leave a comment. But here's the question for you. If a giant monster of a man is beating up a midget, instead, I'm sorry, midget is politically incorrect, a little person. Instead, little person is held to the extent of a choke-slammed arm being fully extended. Are you going to run around the ring 3 times before you save said little person, or are you just going to let him get his ass kicked? Because,
And you guys can guess what happened. Just saying.
Poor little man got stuck up there until he decided to get in the ring and finally save him. Yeah. Like, come on. Really?
Oh, man. That was something else. But yeah, anyways.
Oh, man. But okay.
But so even with stuff like that, we didn't like go out there and like hardcore start trashing, like, oh, fuck this company. It fucking sucks. You're an idiot if you go into these shows. No, but that's the type of shit. That's the type of shit that we're seeing every fucking day now.
Well, and that's the thing. And it's like, I think people forget that, one, like I said, it's a job for these people. Like, they're supporting their family. I mean, Heath Slater has kids, damn it.
He does.
But these people are out there doing their best. It's not their fault that the writing team sucks. I mean, they're doing the best. Here's a couple key things that WWE could learn to capitalize on. One, stop writing 6 months of storylines at one time. Because that, especially with the time we're living in right now, you're constantly having to worry about things like COVID. Obviously, Roman Reigns is out right now. So what did they do? They threw Brock Lesnar into the main of, or the other title picture, which if there had been a fail safe, you would have had something else in plan, just in case something like this was to have happened.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Number 2, stop scripting so many promos. These people were on the independent scene, or you're training them. Part of the training should be not to have to read this scripted promo that is clearly in front of my face. I am so glad that you were watching the WWE and AEW. Thank you. It's bad. When you got guys like Bray Wyatt, who were clearly allowed to have most of the freedom in the script writing that went to their gimmicks, and those guys are going out there and running circles around the younger talent because it's in their blood. Or like you saw John Cena and Roman Reigns go at one time, and Roman completely forgot his script, and John roasted him in the ring for it. John's like, it's called a promo, kid. Get used to it. You're gonna have to do it a lot. And it's like stuff like that is bound to happen when you're force feeding these people what to say.
Yeah,
Josh and I don't have a script before we do this. Sometimes we get tongue-tied. Sometimes we end up laughing hysterically. Sometimes I say something so fucking stupid, Josh gets pissed off at me, and after the camera stops rolling, Josh goes, I can't fucking believe you said that shit.
That's true.
Or there have been plenty of times where we've stopped recording, and I'll be like, dude, next time we can't talk about this again because this isn't the platform for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. Wrestling is such a big, it's a landscape. And there are so many spots in this landscape that beautiful things are growing. But you fucking people are ruining it. And like, you can't appreciate what we are getting. Sting is fucking still wrestling. Sting is out there. He's not even main eventing. Well, I mean, he is kind of main eventing again, but he's there. And he's putting on fucking matches of a lifetime. And you're fucking worried about, oh, man, he's taking away spot somebody else could have got. I mean, he is. But at the same time, if somebody wants that spot, work your ass off to get it. He's elevating.
And another thing, like on that topic, it's a little off topic from our main stuff, but maybe Tony Khan should stop hiring all these people if he doesn't have the room for them.
Well, and that's part of the toxic fandom too. Because we are pushing these people to get hired.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, oh my God, we love these people so much that, of course, you're going to fucking pick them up.
Like, oh, WWE has dropped like 150 people over the last 2 years. AEW has to hire all of them. No, they don't.
That's the thing. There are other places. NWA could hire people. Impact hire
yeah.
people.
You could go over to Japan, down to Mexico, whatever.
Japan's a little harder right now with the
That's
travel
true.
restrictions and shit.
That's true.
Which I'm not counting it out, but
I mean, you could because I've heard that Freddie Prinze Jr. he's looking to open up his own Fed. So hey,
he's
there you
talking
go.
about it. Billy Corgan started talking about it again.
I thought Billy Corgan was still running NWA. I'm pretty sure he's still running NWA.
Is he running NWA?
I believe so. Yeah.
Maybe that's why NWA is stepping up its fucking game lately. Then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And
it's
just pretty cool.
Speaking of NWA right now, Trevor Murdoch, former WWE Tag Team Superstar with Lance Cade, is the NWA Heavyweight Champion.
Nice.
Who is going to be defending against none other than Matt Cardona.
Yes. Man, dude, Matt Cardona, he makes the rounds.
He is putting his stamp. I tweeted weeks ago, and I was really happy about this. I tweeted that man has been showing people for years that he could, in fact, be a main eventer. And now that he is not under the WWE banner anymore, he is going out there and showing people exactly what he can do in the ring. And fans love him, fans hate him. But, again, he's going to show people what he can do. Whether you love him or you hate him, either way, he's fucking doing his job. He's putting asses in seats.
Yeah.
He showed up in GCW. He showed up in NWA. He's been in Impact. I mean, the dude's doing great right now. He looks phenomenal. He's working phenomenal.
Yeah.
You can't hate stuff like that. There are a lot
but somebody will inevitably hate it.
Oh, absolutely. And here's one of the things that really bugs me. And me and you kind of talked about this the other day. There are a lot of people getting released from the WWE right now. It's bound to happen. Like WWE is doing whatever they're doing, whether it's going to be selling the territory or minimizing their roster. And like Vince has said, he doesn't want to be related to the indie scene anymore. He wants a lot of those people gone.
Yeah.
So they're doing the in-house. We're going to grow our own talent again. Cool beans. Cool. But you're going to get a lot of hate doing that because a lot of the people that okay, this is more of a topic for another time because it doesn't fit the topic fandom thing, but you have so many people who are being released that need homes somewhere. Yeah. Of course, AEW has picked up a lot of that slack in hopes that they can better their own product, which in ways they are, in ways, this is where we're getting an overcrowded roster. They've only got so much TV time. You've got the Dark and Dark Elevation, but there are so many independent people out there still who deserve homes.
Yeah.
Like one person comes to mind specifically, and it's not even just him though. It's two other guys with him. That's Shane Taylor.
Oh yeah, man.
Now,
if you guys don't know Shane Taylor, you're missing out.
And that's the thing. If you don't know Shane Taylor, you need to get on this boat because Shane and his posse, the Shane Taylor, I think it's Shane Taylor Production.
I think so.
They are some of the best triple tag team out there.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see them get picked up in either NWA, Impact, or AEW. But AEW is getting so crowded right now, mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind it being Impact or NWA. These guys have cred. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been in the ring with Shane Taylor. I can vouch for the fact that this dude hits fucking hard.
Yeah, he does.
But they're...
Yeah, check out his Ring of Honor stuff, man. It's fantastic.
Shane had a great run in ROH. Yeah. I'm hoping he finds a home someplace.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he will. I mean, he's too talented to not. You know what I mean?
That is, yeah. But I mean, when it comes to toxic fandom, it's shitty because I just want to see peace. Like, and I'm not saying like world peace, but I want fans to be able to sit
and
down.
I don't mind. Like, you want to be like, Roman Reigns sucks. Okay. I mean, sure. Okay. There's plenty of people who don't, but it's these like personal, constant barrage attacks.
Yeah.
Like so much so that it drives people off of social media, causes people to kill themselves. Like what? Like that should never be a fucking thing.
And here's the difference. There's a difference between, because like, okay, I am absolutely guilty of being a toxic wrestler hater, but there is a difference between how I go about it, recording an episode of Off the Ropes and saying, I hate John Cena. and I'm going to punch John Cena in his face. And going on Twitter and then being like, hey, John Cena, fuck you. I'm going to fuck your mother in the ass and punch you in the fucking nose.
Yeah. Yeah, because John Cena ain't watching this show.
John Cena is not, and if he is, thank you. Please.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Twitter and we'll have you on the show.
Right.
And I'll talk about it to your face why I want to punch you squarely in the fucking nose. But that aside, I don't go on Twitter looking to start a fight with him. The last time I had Twitter, I might have picked 1 or 2 fights with CM Punk. Might have tried. He never responded, but I hated Punk. But I came to respect him because of how great his work ethic was.
Yeah.
He fully encapsulated everything that I love about wrestling. He can make me hate him. He can work his ass off in the ring. And then so many people were like, oh, CM Punk, he quit the business. Oh, and this is where part of the toxic thing happens. Every time wrestling would start getting great and like a huge return's coming. Oh, it's going to be CM Punk. Oh, it's going to be CM Punk. Stop taking away the hope that some other person has because they're making a huge debut or a huge return from an injury.
Yeah, because then everybody's like, oh, they're all disappointed because it's not CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe if you didn't get yourself all hyped up thinking that it was going to be CM Punk, like, come on.
Prime example of how on the other side of toxic can be. Look at Edge's 2020 Royal Rumble return. He came out, that place fucking went crazy. And he legitimately was in the aisleway about to cry because he was so happy.
Yeah.
That is what you can do for these superstars. You don't have to kiss their ass or suck their dick to make them happy. You don't have to buy their t-shirts. But respect them for the work they're doing. Yeah. I got a like and a retweet from Matt Cardona for just voicing my opinion that I simply think he is a great worker and should have been shown a lot of respect a lot sooner.
Yeah.
He's a fucking heavyweight champion in his own right. Whether he had to go make his own belt to do it, which granted, Matt, don't hate me. I want to hold your belt. I might want to kiss your wife. I mean, no offense, Mickey. Don't hate me, Mickey. But, I'm not toxic about it.
It's true.
I mean, there's a lot of shit I hate about wrestling right now. That's why I just don't turn on the TV and watch it. I look at highlights.
Yeah,
because I don't have to sit through all the shit I hate. One of the big things I hated about watching pay-per-views was every time Truth would come out and interrupt a fucking pre-show and make him look dumb. Guess what? Yeah. They stopped doing it because people complained about it enough.
Yeah.
And a lot of it wasn't toxically complained about. It was just like, wow, they're really making Truth look dumb here.
Yeah.
They don't need to put him on pre-show to make him look dumb. They've done it with the 24/7 championship.
It's true.
And that, people, is toxic fandom.
Yes, it is. So, John, any last thoughts before we head out on this epic show?
People, this is 2022.
It is.
Let's try to be nice to people.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that you have to fucking love thy neighbor, but I'm saying just
don't be a dick to your neighbor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to give them a cup of sugar, but you don't have to slam their door in their face.
Go into your bedroom and just scream obscenities into your pillow and then go about your day.
Every time I take a woman into my bedroom, they scream obscenities into my pillows.
That's fair. I mean, it's never mind. We're not going to go there. Anyways.
With that being said, though, it's like I said, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you have to attack them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm perfect at this either. I have work on it I have to do as well. But this is just how it works.
Yeah. I think we all need to work on it a little bit. So hopefully 2022 could be a new start. Probably won't be, but one can hope. I'm hoping for the best.
Could be a new start.
I'm hoping for the best. So, all right, John, that's all for episode 34 of Off the Road with John and Josh. Let everybody know where they can find you.
I mean, you can jump on over on Twitter right here. Oh, right here. You can find me at Simply Sane J1. Corresponds with my brand new blog, Simply Sane with Jay. I'm probably not recording the podcast anymore. I find the blog to be a little bit more beneficial to my health. So hop on over. check out Simply Saying with Jay. I've got the link and everything for everything still where it needs to be. You can find me on Twitter. It's Simply Saying J1. Find me on my podcast. Find me on the blog page. Find me here at Off the Ropes. Don't forget to check out our other podcast, Last Call at McLaren's. You can find us on it's Anchor. Wow, I'm really butchering that today.
Anchor.fm
/
Last Call
Wow.
HIMYM.
Wow, this is why I stick to one podcast.
Anchor.fm / Last Call HIMYM
That
for
is
your
right.
How I Met Your Mother awesomeness. Yes.
Now, that is a great podcast for anybody who loves How I Met Your Mother. We just started season 2 review.
Yes.
So if you are interested in checking that out, please go ahead and do. It's on Josh's other page, Work with a Movie blog. Mm-hmm. And Josh, what about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR, as well as right down here at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with a Movie Blog. You can find me on YouTube at the same. It's I think it's Merc with a Movie Blog in the address description.
I believe it is
in the address URL. But also on Facebook and all that. And make sure to follow us, Off the Ropes, at Off the Ropes JJ on all the social medias. We got
all
Facebook.
Socials.
We got a Twitter.
We got
Patreon. We got the Anchor page. We got the YouTubes. All at Off the Ropes JJ.
Hell yeah.
Keeping it nice and simple. I was able to get all of those. Luckily, the same.
Now, also, don't forget that if you go over to anchor.fm / Off the Ropes JJ, leave us a voice message and we will read that message or play that message here on the podcast.
Yeah,
because we want to hear from you guys, but nobody.
And if you guys are listening on like Apple Podcasts, leave if you do a 5-star review, if you like what you're listening to, leave an actual review and we will read that shit on air.
Hell yeah. And if you leave us a 1-star and complain, I will find your IRL and I'll show up at your house and I'll kick your fucking ass.
Yeah, there it is. All right, folks. Well, this has been episode 34 of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And we are down for the count. Catch you guys next time.
Peace.